Hello, hello, and welcome back. It's LaShonda Henry here, aka Sister Sense. We are once again inside the Digital Business Blueprint, day number 2, me and you, talking about how you can create a simple, sustainable digital product business. Essentially learning how to turn your content into consistent cash flow without a big team, big budget, or big audience. So welcome back. I see you guys are coming on into the virtual room. Hello, Dee is in the building. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Lavon. Hi, Tracy. I see you guys coming on in. Awesome, awesome. Good stuff. So to help you grow, our agenda, hopefully you remember from yesterday, working on creating that amazing, simple, sustainable digital product business I know is inside of all of us. Learning how to create profitable digital products using my FAST method, baby. Tapping into the 10-10 win method so you can 10x your success. Working on creating what I call the perfect digital product, that 3-in-1 offer that we worked on yesterday. I would love to know, by the way, those of you who started that project, if you finished it, where you got with it, feel free to drop that into the chat. Crafting your simple, sustainable digital products business is the focus. As yesterday we focused on the product, and today we're leaning into the plan so that you can get ready for revenue, doing what you need to do to strategically work through that promotion and sales 7-day challenge that I've also crafted for you. So we're going to talk a little bit about Ready for Revenue later in this conversation, but in addition to what we're doing over these 2 days, I also have the 7-day Ready for Revenue challenge, all of those audios waiting for you. So once we're done here, it's self-guided. You can actually implement those 7 days and work proactively on your promotions and your sales efforts. The goal of Ready for Revenue, just to kind of quickly reset and remind you, is threefold. It has 3 7-day challenges, but what you have access to as part of this Quick Win Weekend is the first 7-day, which is the goal of creating or discounting your offer to like a $10 offer with the goal of making 100 sales. This is kind of like stretching your marketing and sales muscles to be able to reach a goal and then 10x that success. So the first challenge, the core challenge that you all have access to inside of the replays and resources page is where you're going to find it. I didn't post it yet because I wanted to work on this with you first, and then after our second day, share that activity, because it's threefold in that we focus on product day 1, plan day 2, and then day 3 and beyond, your promotions. So the Ready for Revenue has 3 levels. All 3 of them are inside of my accelerator program, the Digital Business Builder Toolkit, right? So those of you who unlocked the 12 weeks, the 12-week Simple Sustainable Digital Business Program, you got the Digital Business Builder Toolkit Pro 12 months as a bonus. Those of you who don't have it, you can unlock it separately. The Digital Business Builder Toolkit is independent of my Insider Circle monthly program, but there are so many wonderful things in there, including the full 21-day Ready for Revenue challenge. So the second 7-day challenge in that series is working towards making a $100 offer and selling it 10 sales, $1,000. The third challenge is the custom Ready for Revenue challenge, and that's another 7 days working towards selling a $1,000 offer, 10 sales, 10K. So literally it's about 10xing your success, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on in our conversation today. But I just kind of wanted you to be aware of the process and the plan I've put together for you here. Starting off with creating your first or your next digital product. We focused on that for day number 1. Now focusing on the digital business plan that we're going to focus on day number 2. And then after that, I'm going to share the Ready for Revenue challenge with you so you can go from product to plan to proactive promotions. Now that we did a quick rundown of the agenda, especially if you were not with us yesterday on day 1, quick recap from yesterday, day 1, choosing the challenge or idea that you wanted to put together. So the goal yesterday was to create what I call the perfect digital product, because it was ABC, and you know that's one of my favorite Sister Sense signature methodologies to teach you all, my ABC method. In this case, ABC stood for audio-based challenge. That was basically a 3-in-1, because you're creating an audio offer that had a book template and that challenge experience for your audience. So it's got 3 really good pieces in there. We worked on you creating your flow for your 7-day challenge, and then putting together not only the audio content, but the text, your welcome, your wrap-up, your individual daily prompts, and then making sure you had a plan to record your audios 5 to 10 minutes each, putting that in a Google Doc that you could use to kind of keep everything together. And then I literally shared with you not only how to prep, but to tech. We walked through customizing your book template so you could put that audio content into the book template I gave you, publish it, and even sell it on Kit too. So there was a lot that we covered yesterday. As you guys are coming on in here, I would love for you to let me know, number one, what time it is for you in your location. I adjusted the time slightly from 10 a.m. to 12 in the afternoon, and it's always interesting for me to try to find a time that fits different time zones. So let me know what time it is in your area. And then, of course, number 2, let me know how yesterday went for you as far as being able to put your offer together and where you are in the process. So I see some Eastern Standard, which is good. Just kind of want to make sure that I've got, start times and virtual event times that work for you all, and you can continue to pop those time zones into the chat. And, of course, your progress with your projects. 5:20 p.m. says D. Okay, 5:20 in the UK. Still reasonable time. Not too bad. I think I can't remember, I was doing a training with someone else, and on her platform, man, I think I was up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but can't remember where she lives. It was far, and it was not my time zone. So doing a training at 2 o'clock in the morning was hard, but I got through it. So anyway, keep jumping into the chat while you're doing that. Let's talk about mistakes most make. When it comes to working on creating a digital marketing business, a lot of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs struggle because they focus on products and not building a business. Like, what am I going to sell right now? What am I going to launch right now? How much money can I bring in from this one thing right now? And it's important for you to intentionally look at a product and strategically, proactively sell that product. But selling a product does not an actual business make. It does not. And you'll find that you could throw a rock these days and everybody is a digital entrepreneur. Everybody is selling some ebook or course out there. And it's so funny because when I started 20 years ago, entrepreneurship was not as sexy as it is now, right? Everybody is got a side hustle or they're starting their own business, and baby, it didn't look like that for me when I got started. I mean, not only is the market more saturated, but the reality is, like, anybody these days, especially with the platforms we have and the integration of AI, anybody can create an ebook or a course. Not very many people can turn those digital products into a sustainable business. That's number 1. Number 2, understanding that chasing volume is not the right way to go. That's essentially how you're going to burn yourself out. Because a lot of entrepreneurs, they want to sell low ticket digital products, but they're looking for high volume. Okay, so I want to sell this thing at 27 and get 100 people or 1,000 people to buy this thing. And unfortunately, most of them either don't know how to do ads, or they've done ads a couple of times, it didn't work for them, or unfortunately, I've heard stories of people paying other people to do ads, still didn't work for them. I hate to admit it. Or doing organic and not quite getting where they want to be because the trickle isn't helping them consistently, right? Can anybody relate to that? Being in a place where you feel like you're trying and you're working, but nothing's working or not working the way you want it to. Because to be honest with you, you're in a space where there's no system to expand your small offers into something that is sustainable for you, right? There's no plan to increase your average order value. So even if you don't necessarily have a flood of people coming to you, on your average order value when people are buying from you, you can make more. I saw somebody just drop into the comments say, I can relate, right? You can relate. So when people are coming to you and buying, that's great. But if it's a trickle and you're just getting that $7 or that $127, or, you know, in some cases there are people who are selling physical products online, and let's say it's like a $40 product, but it's physical, so 30 of that goes into the cost of getting the product made and shipping it. It's still not a lot of revenue for you, right? What do you do when you feel like you're getting stuck selling only low ticket? Now, I mentioned selling only low ticket because that's where a lot of entrepreneurs live for many, many reasons. One, because everybody is like, low ticket is sexy, right? You know, go on any of these websites and practically everyone selling you something is selling you something for $7 or $27. It's sexy now. It didn't used to be. In my era, in my day, when people were doing network marketing and things of that nature and coaching, and everybody was high ticket, and they looked down on me. A lot of people in my circle was like, you know, why the hell are you selling $7 products? You know, you should be selling things at very least $9.97 level, right? And I get it. However, I realized for me that there was a group of people I was trying to connect to, so there was a reason why I was doing low ticket, but they also didn't understand the layers behind the low ticket that I had in my business. So that's another story, but we're going to break down that story today. So on the flip side, there are people who sell high ticket, and it worked until it didn't work, until their leads dried up, or their high season sales. Some people have, like, for example, people who are in taxes or whatever, they have businesses that work well in a certain season and then they don't, right? And they have nothing to balance it out. So just as much as I talk about the challenges of creating a sustainable business with low ticket, there are people who push high ticket, but they don't have a consistent flow either, right? It dries up, feast or famine. When they've got a good amount of people buying the high ticket, great, but when they're not reaching those premium clients, they're just as bad off, or if not as worse off than people who have lower ticket. So what do? For me, the key is the blueprint, this digital business blueprint that we're going to lean into today, okay? It's going to solve those struggles from both sides of the spectrum with one word: balance. This is something that I've been talking about quite a bit. Last year I did several trainings on the one thing you need more than new customers is balance, because there are some people who literally, you've probably seen or heard them or even spoken to them, they will talk to you with an air of disgust if you tell them about anything that is less than $1,000. Like, why are you even wasting your time? And there are people like that, right? They have their own triggers or their own reasons for wanting you to push only doing premium, number one, for their own agendas. And then there are people who just, whether it be insecurity or what have you, they cringe at the thought of selling something that's more than 100 or even a couple hundred, because they feel like that's going to be too hard. Who's going to buy that stuff from me? I can raise my hand and tell you when I started, that was me. Like, I can't afford XYZ. Why would somebody buy that from me? That's crazy. You know, who am I to ask for $5,000, $10,000? That's crazy. There's all sides of the conversation. You got to learn how to build with balance, and that comes with clarity and confidence. Hopefully some of these things you can gain as we go through our session today. So one of the things that I've done is document my journey, right? And as I've gone through these three phases, I've thought about the people who come to me, and these are the phases they tend to be in. Startup. Startup is where you're trying to figure out how to build a 4-figure foundation, making 4 figures every single month consistently, whether it's on the low or the high end of 4 figures, right? And thinking about that 4-figure foundation, for a lot of people, it varies depending on several things. Whether you have a 9 to 5, whether you have a spouse that's either contributing to the income or taking care of all the income, right? Whether you have another business, multiple streams of revenue, these things dictate how much you invest into this particular business that you're focused on today and how much you require it to give back to you. Because, baby, when I was working a 9-to-5, trust me, what I was doing was fun, but it wasn't necessarily out of, I wouldn't say desperation to make a money, but I wasn't driven to say this thing is all I have, right? And then when I, had my son and we moved to North Carolina, I was the primary breadwinner in a house of 3 people, me, the hubby, and my son, and I had to figure out how to pay the bills and feed the baby, and there was no 9-to-5, there was no cushion, there was no mom or dad or somebody to go to and say, hey, can you help me out? What do I do? And so when you're in a space where you have either supplementary income, multiple streams of revenue, a partner supporting you, a full-time job where certain amount of money is coming in every week, the pressure, baby, is not there. And that also affects how you look at your business, how much you lean into proactively promoting, how much you seriously look at the amount of money you're putting in versus the amount of money you're getting out, right? I don't know if that relates to anybody, but in my experience, from looking at what I've done and also thinking about the people who I've worked with in 20 plus years, these things matter because sustainability requires your consistency when it comes to showing up and proactively promoting the things that you want to see generate revenue for you. Those proactive promotions do not happen when you are not as invested, when you don't have that skin in the game, right? So startups usually are in a place where they're, in my definition, when I'm working with people, building a 4-figure foundation, either because that's their sole business or a side business, right? When you stay up, that's focusing on being consistent, not falling off. When you stay up, that's when you're looking to do 2 things. The biggest of this, when I talk about 5-figure focus, the 5-figure focus, is when you get to a point where you're consistently making 4 figures regularly to the point where that adds up to 5 figures over the course of 12 months or in 6 months. That is when you okay, that's that 5-figure focus. Now, you're going to get to a point where your 4-figure foundation starts to increase and you make more, and you get to the other side of 4 figures where you're making more than 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 a month, and in those spaces, you begin to see you make 5 quickly. And then you even see months where you're making over 5 figures in a month versus making 5 figures in a year. But it's a process, to be clear. When you are bootstrapping your way through this, okay, which is what I did. So I know kind of lots of sides to the coin. I didn't out of the gates have somebody pushing me, backing me, or, funding me. I didn't have grant money to, have huge reach. I built this thing from the ground up. So I had to learn how to do things my way, which then leads to the 6-figure sales. So there's the 4-figure foundation, 5-figure focus, 6-figure sales. When you get to a point where you're consistently making high 4 figures on a month-by-month basis, and then in some cases you're making 5 figures, maybe not every month, but it's a balancing act, you hit 6-figure sales. And then same thing like 5-figure focus, you go from trying to make 6 figures a year to 6 figures in 6 months, to 6 figures in a quarter, to 6 figures a month, right? That's what you're leaning towards when you go through these 3 phases of growth by my definition. So as I am breaking these down for you, I encourage you to think about where you are right now versus where you want to be. And it is not a projection of desire, it is reality. What do I say when I mean desire versus reality? Back in the day, everybody coaches used to push, ooh, I want to be a 6-figure sister. I want to be a 6-figure sister. And damn it, if nowadays you don't just need 100,000. You need at least $250,000 to feel like you're doing something. In the world that we live in, am I lying? 6 figures is like circa 5 years ago, 10 years ago, feeling like you comfortable at 6 figures. Nowadays, it's like, girl, I need 250 for me to be happy or beyond, right? Quarter to $500,000. Now, as I say that, I want you to think about not just the whole, 6 figure, I want to make 6 figure thing as a desire, but a reality. Are you in a space where you are realistically at 4 figure foundation? You know you are bringing in 4 figures consistently on a month-by-month basis so that you're working towards now going from 4 figure foundation to 5 figure focus? Or are you in a place where you are consistently making 4 to 5 figures a month, so you're going from 5 figure focus to 6 figure sales? And it's not about hope and wish and praying of this goal number that you want. It's about actually looking at the books and going, yeah, this is what I'm bringing in on average. Do you know? The bulk of money comes through the Samcart platform. I do have a few other platforms that I use, like Kit and Acuity and Shopify and Amazon, but my primary source of the majority of my income comes through Samcart. And so I'm always going there and looking at the numbers there, and also Stripe, right? Looking at Stripe to see what's coming in for me this month or this year or the last 12 months, comparatively speaking, from the time prior. So let me know, where are you looking to put your energy right now? Are you trying to work on a 4-figure foundation? Are you trying to work towards 5-figure focus? Or are you trying to focus on 6-figure sales? This is not a skip. This is not a let me jump to the ultimate. This is realistically, where am I versus where I know I can be with effort. You cannot, unless you have some secret sauce to exponentially jump to the the top of the ladder, you have to think about realistically where you are versus where you want to be. Identify which phase fits you today. Think about these different phases, the next steps for you, because the idea here is that we're going to go through all of these parts. Those of you who are here, I want to give you a really good overarching understanding of what this looks like, whether you're listening live or on the replay side. And those of you who continue working with me, because we're going to be doing the Simple Sustainable Digital Product Business 12-week accelerator, right? And that starts next week. And for 12 weeks, we're going to keep building on this. The goal is that we go through all 3 phases within that 12-week period, because I'm going to break them down as much as I can today. And then we need time to build on each of these over that time period, okay? So where are you in this 3-phase growth process? Definitely check in, drop into the chat so that I can see. Just going to mosey on over there now. Okay, so I see someone says working on the 4-figure foundation, which is a respectable place to be, right? That we all got to start somewhere, right? And again, it really isn't simply about everyone being in the same place in their life, in their business. I always love the quote, don't compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. And also thinking about people's business objectives are different. Some people are building their business as a side to working a 9-to-5 that's already bringing them in 6 figures, and they're trying to transition. I work with a lot of people, especially in the corporate space, or service professionals who are like, listen, I don't need to be standing up doing any of this anymore. I need to do digital. Let's do it, right? I work with people who are lawyers and surgeons, and they're making money hand over fist. So the amount that they want to see from their business isn't necessarily, I want something comparable to what I'm bringing in my career. I want something that I can transition into. Now, when I started entrepreneurship 20-plus years ago, I was literally in my 20s, and I was working at a nonprofit. After I graduated Columbia, I had a degree in computer science. My goal was to work at IBM because I had been interning at IBM for a couple of years. And literally, I graduated, the .com bubble popped, and I didn't end up working at IBM. after that internship, and I ended up in the nonprofit sphere because I said, if I'm not working with computers, I'm working with children. Cartoons, kids, computers. Those were the three for me. So I ended up working with children, and that was a great experience, but I was making like less than $30,000. I was like, this is hard in New York. So when I got pregnant and decided in my mid-20s that I wanted to be a full-time at-home mom, I quit my job. I was about 6 months pregnant when I quit my job, and we moved to North Carolina because the cost of living was different and gentrification was creating a different space in Brooklyn. Long story long, I learned how to bring in $30,000, and I, at that point, bringing in $30,000 for myself as an entrepreneur, I was making more than I was making in the full time, and I learned how to go from $30,000 to $50,000. The first time I saw six figures, I damn near called one of my business besties, Rochelle. I was like, "We made it, Rochelle! We made it." She's like, "I knew you could do it, girl." You know, but I went through all phases, and I've gone through ebbs and flows because the economy is not always great, baby. So I know what it's like to get to 6 and then go right back down to 5 because you have to learn how to maintain it. Now, I'm working towards seeing 7 figures in a year. To be clear, that's my new season. That's the new thing I'm shooting towards. But anybody who's even seen 7 figures will know there's a difference between getting there and maintaining it, right? Same thing. There's a difference between, like I said today, creating and selling a few digital products on and off and turning that into something sustainable. So you really got to create a space where you are clear about what you are striving towards. I am like, listen, I need to see 7 figures in 12 months. What do I need to do to make that happen? And that's where my head is at. If you don't have a clear revenue growth number and you're not clear about what you need to sell to get there, it's not going to happen. It's not. And so a lot of people shy away from it, and they just kind of say, well, let me just focus on selling these couple of products right here. And for me, to be clear, that's like being in a place where you can't see the forest for the trees. You're so fixated, if you understand that statement, on the trees in front of you, the products in front of you, you cannot see the full forest. And then all of a sudden you look up and it went from January to August to December, and you're like, why am I not where I want to be? You don't get there without strategy. That's one of my favorite quotes, not being able to see the forest for the trees, number one. Number two, one of these that hit me in the gut, stop walking over dollars to pick up dimes. Every time your new season is entering into your world where you have to think bigger, build bigger, create balance, you keep walking over the dollars to pick up dimes, the immediate money, the easy money, the low-hanging fruit. And while they can help, they can also hurt if you do not look at the bigger picture. When you find yourself so desperately, urgently looking at the smaller things, either because it's instant gratification or because it's out of need, you don't see the bigger picture, which for me is balance. And it's important for me to say that because I've gone through all gamuts of security. I tell you all, no exaggeration, I was building websites for $100 because I didn't think nobody could pay me more. Then I actually went to an Essence Fest. When I was blogging, I was getting invited to everything, y'all. Black Enterprise, Essence, Disney when they had Princess Tiana. I was interviewing folks, Terry Crews, Monique, everybody. I was big time blogger back in the day when mommy blogging was a thing for me. And I say that to say I remember going to it was either Essence or a Black Enterprise event, and I was sitting with a makeup artist, and he was like, oh my God, you build websites? And I was telling him my prices, and he was like, I just paid somebody, and this was a celebrity makeup artist. If I'm not mistaken, he was like I think it was either like Aretha or Patti LaBelle. Like, he was like big time makeup artist. He was like, I just paid somebody $3,000 to build my website, and they haven't done nothing for me. And look at what you create, and that's all you charging? I was like, oh shit. Yeah, that's all I'm charging. I taught myself how to build websites. So look at what you built. So why would you charge anything less than? And I still didn't see it. Someone came to me and she was like, listen, I need you to build an e-commerce website for me for my business. She sold for, children of color. She made bedding, apparel, toys, all of it. And I was like, okay. And, I got the bubble guts. And she was like, I'm going to pay you $1,000. I ran around my couch because this woman was going to pay me $1,000. Never mind, she worked me like a slave. That woman worked me, baby. But she knew she was getting a steal. She knew anybody else would have charged her $5,000, $10,000. And I was happily accepting of that $1,000. I'm telling you, you have to really get clear about where you want to see yourself and how you're positioning yourself, because if you're not clear about that, if you find yourself telling yourself all the time, they would pay so-and-so, but they won't pay me, that's because you don't believe you deserve that money. Well, if I charge them that, they're not going to stay. That's because you don't believe it, and you will manifest it that way in how you speak to them and how you position your offers. No, they're not going to pay, and they're not going to stay. And they're going to compare you to them because you compare you to them. It really ultimately is beyond strategy. The deeper level is energy, because nothing came to me without me being in a phase where I had the energy to receive it. I kid you not. When I stopped telling myself that good enough was no longer good enough, that's when I started to transition and make more. So, your 3 phases. For me, not only understanding that point, but going beyond that point. Somebody said, that's why I'm here. I love it. Going beyond that point, I had to understand something in an honest space. In an honest space, I was not ever someone who started off with grant money or started off with having a full-time job where I could invest $1,000 or thousands of dollars back into a business because I had full-time job money. I had a kid, and I was the primary dependent in a house of 3. I didn't have a lot of money to invest back into me, nor did I see a ton of people coming to me. I predate ads. I mean, I'm prior to like YouTube ads and Facebook ads. I was back in MySpace and Black Planet days. Those things didn't exist. The only thing we really could do was Google ads for search engine optimization, and even then, I focused more on blogging and organic marketing than anything else. So when it came to reach, and it came to me reaching my revenue goals without seeing huge numbers, I taught myself 10-10-win. I don't know about you, but back in New York, back in the day, there used to be this radio show segment, kind of like NPR style, that was like 10-10-win. And every time I think about that, it brings it up for me. But that was because back in the day, right, right? So you know what I'm talking about, 10-10-wins. When I was in my 20s, I said to myself, LaShonda, if you could sell a $10 product and make 10 sales a day, that's $100. And if you could make $100 every day for 30 days, that's $3,000. And if you can make $3,000 in 10 months, that's $30,000. And if you can make $30,000, you're making more than you're making at this nonprofit. That was the simplest math I could math. And that's why for me, 10-10-win starts with learning how to grow, GRO. When I came up with my GROW methodology, it's simple. GRO for me means get rich online, not rich just simply monetarily, but having the freedom and flexibility to live a life on your terms. That's rich for me. Everybody's desire is not just in money, but what they believe freedom to be. GRO, get rich online. In order to do that, you have to GRO, generate revenue online, real revenue. If you can make $1, you can make $1 million. So for me, I don't come out the gates telling people, oh, girl, I'm going to show you how to make 6 figures. No, I can't do that. I'm going to show you how to make $10. I'm show you how to start there. And if you can generate real revenue online, you can move forward. So the final level for me of GRO is your goals, routines, and your offers, because you do have to set goals, but goals don't mean nothing if you don't change your routines. And you do need the right routines, but routines don't mean nothing if you don't have offers to sell. A lot of people are online, social media. They got more followers than you and me combined, and they are absolutely broke. They have nothing to sell, and no one expects anything from them from the seller's perspective. You need to work on your goals, routines, and your offers. And so once you understand how to 10x your success, that means, can I get people, real human beings, to buy something from me for $10? All right, that's 100. Then my first $100 offer was my Black Business Starter Kit, because after a couple of months of building out these little ebooks and things, I was like, ooh, girl, you doing a thing. You're doing a thing. Add some zeros on it. Add some zeros. I call that my 0 to zeros framework, because I had zero, nothing. I had absolutely nothing. After a while, I had a little bit more than I did before, and then I added 2 zeros onto it, or rather 1 0, because it went from 10 to 100. I took all the things I had, made a business toolkit, the Black Business Starter Kit to be exact, and 10 sales of that, $1,000. Another thing that I did that year was I did my first mastermind group. I said, listen, come in my mastermind group. We're going to work on this thing for either 4 or 6 weeks in the group, and then I'm going to give you the opportunity to work with me privately. You start off with a call. You end with a call. We do the thing for 46 weeks. I got 10 women in. My goal was always 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. 10 women in, $100 each, and they got a lot for that $100, $1,000. I was like, oh, I can make $1,000? What? I can make $1,000? Come on, girl. Come through. Next thing that you do is 1,000. 1,000. I remember going to an event it was either Atlanta or DC. No, it was DC. It was DC. And at that particular event, I was invited to speak, and they were like, listen, you can't do that low-ticket stuff. I was like, come on, girl. She was like, I don't know how you got a kid and you got a spouse. I don't know how you be selling that low-ticket stuff. Listen, you got 2 choices. Either come with a high-ticket offer or pay me $10,000 to speak at my event. Mind you, she invited me to the event, but she was like, you sell a high-ticket offer, and we do you give me a percentage of that. We do a split, and that will cover you speaking at my event, or you pay $10K out of pocket. So I was like, okay, I'll do a split. And I remember driving to DC, and everything in me was like, nobody is going to buy from me. What am I going to sell? I sold them like this web package for like $1,000. And at the time, it was like, ooh, girl, you pushing it. You pushing it. But I also gave them a few other goodies in the process. And, you know, this is my kid. You can picture Christopher. He's probably like 10 or 11. He's in the back seat. Jay, he's sitting beside me. Everybody's trying to pump me up because I'm freaking out. This is like me doing I've spoken on stages, but not like at an event and just kind of selling books or whatever, like going up there and saying, pay me $1,000. Now, when I got there, folks was like, oh, my God, yes, Shonda. And I was like, you know, I felt pseudo-celebrity. I was like, oh, you know me? Okay. Okay. Hi. And then getting on that stage, doing my thing, and ladies are like laughing and standing up and all the things. And when I'm like, okay, well, listen, if you're ready, I got you. You know, I can work with you. I can help you build a website. We're going to work on this in the next couple of weeks. And there was a line outside the event door. I made $15,000 in an hour. If you have a $1,000 offer and you get 10 sales, that is $10,000. If you have a $4,000 offer and you get 10 sales, that is $40,000. I was sitting on a call one day, and I feel like I was on a Clubhouse, if Clubhouse is still a thing. And this was during the quarantine days. And I was at somebody else's Clubhouse, not my own. And I was listening to a young lady talk about her membership site. And she was like, you know, I want to charge This group in particular, I'm going to charge them like $20 a month, and if they can't afford the 20, if they only can pay me like $7 or $10, and I'm listening to her, and I understand low ticket. I live low ticket. I call myself the LPP queen. However, if you're so desperate for people to come in, or you're so much trying to be like the martyr and have people come in practically free, if you don't have some system behind it, you're going to burn out. It's not sustainable without a system behind it. It's not sustainable. It's funny because I remember one of the ladies said to me yesterday, I've been following you for like 2 years, right? And it's funny because when I look at thinking about subscriptions, I think it was like the $5 club or the $10 club. And in that 2 years time span, looking at just being a part of the circle and purchasing individual products and or working within the community, just looking at the LTV, the lifetime value, right? And I think it's like close to $2,000 from like starting with me 2 years ago at like a $5 offer. The LTV is the lifetime value of somebody working with you. I mean, some people out of the gates may invest $1,000, $10,000 with you. Some people may over time, whether they're paying a part of a subscription or they're purchasing individual things from you, end up paying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 or more. And you have to be able to understand what sustainability looks like is 3 R's. And I always think about Rochelle because I had my 3 P's. She had her 3 R's. And we actually had a training program for a while called the Women of Color Coaching Program. And Rochelle would always say, listen, retain, reactivate, referral. And when you're in a space where you're not getting football numbers, as my hubby would say, you're not getting hundreds, if not thousands of people flooding the gates, pouring into your ecosystem, you have to get better at understanding how to retain the people you have, how to reactivate the people you have, and how to get referrals from the people that you have. That's how literally this past month I was able to turn someone who came to me and paid $5 initially, a $5 sale, into a $5,000 client because now she's a part of my annual program. This is about understanding there are levels. And yes, if you want to be one of the people who 24/7 put ads on Facebook and YouTube, and half of the money that you make goes back into the ads, because it can happen, it can work. I don't teach that. I don't discredit it because it's not my business model. However, I didn't just say simple sustainable because it's like, oh, it's the opposite of ads, because you're in a space where literally if you strategically work on 10 wins at a time, you can scale gradually. You can scale realistically, whereas some people are trying to get 100 people or 1,000 people to pay them $7. I need 1,000 people to pay me $7 to make 7,000. I just need 7 people to pay me 1,000. And you can get that. One of my latest clients, she said to me, LaShonda, in this economy, do you find you have to drop your prices? I said, no. First of all, when you come to me, you find that, number one, there's something for everyone. There's something at every price point, number one. And number two, there's always, regardless of economy, going to be rich and poor people. People who have it and people who don't. And people who don't have it, but they're so willing and invested in wanting to work with you, they'll do what they need to do. I remember one of my lowest, low price point projects. I was working with a mom, and she had several single moms, several children on welfare, and she was in school, and she was like, yeah, I'm going to take this FAFSA check, and that's what I'm using to pay you. And I was like, cringe. But people do what they need to do to get what they need. Even still, I was desperately sitting there like, you know what, I can't charge her more than like $300 for this. I mean, she's a single mom, she's got kids, and my heart went out for her. And the thing about it is she's like, look, legit, I can care less about my situation. I know this website, I know this business, I know what I'm trying to do. I will be resourceful. I will be strategic. I will pay you. And sometimes we so invested in sacrificing ourselves for the people we wish to serve for whatever 15 reasons we have that we don't stick to the path, right? And funny enough, is long story long, that person, she's the type of person who will be resourceful and use the funds or invest the funds wherever she chose. Whether I chose to drop my prices or not, that was my business. And if I want to have the funky face for charging $300 for something I should have charged $3,000, that's my business, not hers, right? Sometimes we make personal way too personal to the point where we're not understanding where we are the person or the reason why we're not where we need to be. You in your head thinking about everybody when everybody is like, listen, I'm going to do what I need to do to come through and get what I need to get, okay? If they don't pay you, it's because you didn't ask for it or you didn't expect it. So I want you to think about where you are in your financial goals, and I want you to think about how you can strategically integrate the 10-10-win strategy into your business. Are you in a place where you look at the 3 phases, you're looking on 4-figure foundation, 5-figure focus, 6-figure sales, number 1. Number 2, are you in a place when you are looking at your customer journey, you are 10xing your success. You can literally see that you've put something together where someone could literally go through your customer journey, starting off with a $10 offer, then paying you $100, then paying you $1,000 because you're leading them down that path. Because one of my newest clients, like I said, went from a $5 product to a $5,000 one-year program. And when I look at the LTV, the lifetime value, because when I'm in my SAM car, I can see every single purchase that you've made. She literally, on day 1, purchased a $5 product. That same day, she purchased a $7 product from me. And if you fast forward a little bit further, then she purchased a bundle from me. It was $97, call it $100. And if you fast forward a little bit more, then she signed up to my annual program. The Insider Circle Focus is $100 per month. And if you fast forward a little bit more, she said, hey, okay, I need to talk to you. We got on the phone. I did what I needed to do literally a few minutes ago. She said, not minutes, but weeks ago. I want to say maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, we got on the phone. We spoke. She said, I need more of that. It's like, okay, well, my annual program is usually from December. Enrollment is like December, January. But as fate would have it, I reopened it because somebody else wanted to join this month. Do you want to join? And she said, yes. Are you creating a path or an experience where you know ultimately where you want your people to be? Ultimately, I want you working with me as a VIP in my community, and that is the end goal of my path, and that is currently 10,000. It shouldn't be, though. It should be 20. It should be 20, right? It could be 30, but it should be 20. But I wouldn't have VIP clients today if I didn't have a VIP program. And I need you to understand that. If I didn't have a place for people to go, they wouldn't go there. So this is not just about, ooh, that sounds great. You have to create the space to get to where you want to go. Now, when we go through these things in 12 weeks, some of you have been going through these things with me for the last couple of months, working on 1K plus offers, right? And that's transformational for some people because the secret sauce in the transformation is scaling through 10 wins at a time. And you don't have to. If you want to push fast, you can get, pay for ads or pay for people to get more people to you. God knows everybody is trying to get more leads, more customers, more leads, more customers. But the reality is if you are better at retaining the customers you have, reactivating the customers who paid you, and getting those same people to refer people to you, regardless of anything else, you can still stand. I find myself to be like the Radio Shack of entrepreneurs. You know how Radio Shack, and there's still one, by the way. This is like the neighboring town beside me. They still have a Radio Shack. And I need to take a picture because I keep saying that. Or when you could go, I'm still here. I'm still standing. Some people are fly by night. Some people, you may be impressed by them, but they're only around for a couple of years and then the fire fizzles. It's sustainability for me. When you have low overhead and you have the desired amount of revenue, that is going to allow you to sustain. Yesterday when we worked on the perfect digital product project, I said to you the baseline is $10 to $27. I said you could even create something where it's $27, $37, and then you discount it with the goal of bringing in your first initial sales. But if you're somebody who does not know how to sell, strategically offering entry price point offers, it's great for first-time product creators because it's a low point of friction. People aren't going like, who is this person? What is their credibility? Why should I give you $1,000? Right? It's like, okay, I'll pay the $7. I'll pay the $30. It's not a huge thing for me. It's less friction if you're somebody who doesn't really know how to sell out of the gates when you have that low ticket. Now, one of the things I talk about when it comes to low ticket is sticker shock. And when it comes to sticker shock, you don't want to piss people off by having something that was $7 and then all of a sudden now you're charging $97 for it. It's better if you ultimately believe that it's $47, $27, $97, you charge that and then discount it for them. Say, here, this is what it's going to be normally, but I'm giving you a discount temporarily, as opposed to out of the gates charging low and then raising your price later. If you are going to raise your price, I would say let people see that from the gates. Now, some people will, after the fact, choke or hold you and be like, I'm raising the price, take it or leave it. That's some people, that's not me. So starting off with the baseline of 10 to 27, but if you are going to do something like 7 or 10, to be quite honest with you, put it at the retail value that you know it's worth, and then as opposed to having a small starter price, give them a limited time discount. Then think about how this works for your $100 revenue goals. If, let's say, for example, you have an offer that's $47 or $97, 2 sales, you at $100. 1 sale, you at $100. So if you can strategically work on not just the low ticket, but then the higher of the low ticket, that's going to work for you when you're looking to 10x from just the $10 sales to higher. So I mentioned to you that I have literally 3 ready for revenue challenges. The core challenge, the goal is sell 10, make $100, start to 10x, make more $100 sales, 10 wins at a time, scale gradually. The second challenge is the conversion challenge. We, for 7 days, just work on conversions, make a $100 offer, sell the $100 offer, make 10 sales, 1,000. 7 days, that's your focus. Then the highest level is the custom challenge. For 7 days, you work on a 1K offer, selling that 1K offer, make 10K in 7 days. That's the focus. At the end of the day, you cannot receive what you do not focus on. And some people feel like they're busy and they're exhausted, but they're not busy. Just their day is just filled with busy work. When you intentionally know what you need to grow and you focus on that, you eat it, you drink it, you all of it, you get it. It's just how it works. When you make excuses or you do a little bit, you fall off, you're not sure, you ain't going to see what you want, what you say you want, but your actions don't line up with your desires. So looking at picking your price points, looking at your path to scaling gradually, realistically for me. I don't sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to be like, yeah, everybody can go on social media and go viral and get 1,000 people to buy your stuff. You know why I don't sugarcoat it? Because, baby, that was not my story. I didn't go viral. I still ain't go viral yet. I always tell people where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name. I'm a spiritual entrepreneur, and I've learned how to create a space where the right people are attracted to me, they invest in me, and that's how I generate revenue consistently. Now, there are different ways that you can work towards your revenue goals. One is the order bump. Do you know what an order bump is? Long story short, it's when they go to your website and they see a product. They are just about to pay for that product, and you're like, hey, before you buy this, you may want to add this to the cart, because if you do, that's going to be the best additional purchase for you. An order bump. That allows you to increase your profit per sale. Technically, sales, we call that AOV, increase your average order value. So, for example, somebody comes to the website and they say, ooh, I want to buy her book. It's $27. And then you go, listen, if you want, you can get the audiobook plus the workbook. Just throw that in there too. It's another $20. Now, as opposed to you just getting 27, now you're getting 47 because of the order bump. And the thing that I love about the order bump is the fact that I don't need more customers to make more money. The same amount of people who are coming. But the reality of the situation is some people will buy at the 27, some people will buy at the 47, and all of a sudden I'm making $20 more, and all I had to do was add an order bump as opposed to figuring out how to get more people to the page, which is not to say you don't want to work towards marketing and reaching new people. Please do not confuse what I'm saying. It's not that getting new customers and reaching new customers is not a part of the process, because it is. However, the reality is that so many people are fixated on selling low-ticket offers and high-volume sales that they don't realize there are other smarter, easier, simpler things that they could do to bring in more revenue, even if they don't reach as many people as they would like to, especially in markets like this that are oversaturated for more reasons than one, right? The people who are going to buy from you anyway because they like what you got to say. Imagine if you could get that same person who bought from you from $27 to pay you $3,000, but you never created a space for them to pay you that. So one of the things that we're going to do is to take advantage of what I call my CCQs. And I want you to work on an order bump using my clarity prompt so that you can strategically build an order bump that's going to help you add on something simple to increase your average order value. Now, out of the gates, those of you who worked on the digital product yesterday, did you think about how you could potentially make that offer bigger? Some of you are used to me talking about order bumps and upsells, so it's possible. Yes? Okay, good. What did you think about adding on to your offer? Please drop that into the chat, right? If you did. I mean, if you didn't, that's fine. You could also say no, right? This is a great way to practice smarter selling because, again, it's not just about how can I go on Instagram and, or TikTok and go viral and get like 1 million people looking at my stuff. How can I make the most of what I already had? Because trust me, when the light bill was due, baby, that's what I had to do. That's why I came up with these strategies. How can I make the most of people already coming to me, valuing me, wanting what I had? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I had to listen, really stop and listen. There were people who literally were waiting to pay me 4 and 5 figures. But the things they were asking me for, I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, I don't want to do that. It's like, why? Why don't you want to do it? Oh, it's going to be so much work. Okay, it's going to be so much work if you're doing it for $1. But if you're doing it for 5,000 and 10,000, is it going to be so much work? No, actually, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. I have worked on this method so much that, and I remember maybe it was about 3-4 years ago, I said, I'm quitting websites. One of the ladies in my circle, Pam Perry, she was like, what do you mean you're quitting? Who am I going to refer my people to? What are you talking about? And I was like, I'm not quitting. Like, I'll still work with y'all in small increments, but making web design the thing that is my highest ticket thing, I don't want to build websites until I'm 60. I'm transitioning. And just working on it. When I looked at the numbers this year, interestingly enough, I was able to increase my income by 106% with fewer customers. When most people are sitting here trying to figure out what's going wrong, telling themselves, I need more customers. Who keeps saying that? Now, if you have no customers, that's one thing. But those of you who do have customers, how many of you are just fixated on the fact that you need customers, more customers, more customers? Why am I not getting more customers? And then really not there are different things you can do to bring in customers, but to be clear, there are probably people who would pay you more than you even thought is possible, but you ain't doing nothing for them. Absolutely nothing for them. Right? That's something for you to consider. So you want to create a space where you get into a place where you're practicing smarter selling and you're thinking about things you can add on, like order bumps and, templates, trainings, bonuses, things that would add value, and you can insert that into the carts. Add on an extra 10, add on an extra 20, add on an extra 40, add on an extra 50, boosting your revenue per customer. Because it's possible. So what I want you to do is to, if you can, take a screenshot of this. And what we're going to do is put this into ChatGPT. Now, I have 2 prompts for you today, but I don't believe I put it in the Getting Started guide. So if you can screenshot this and you're good, great. If you can't screenshot it, let me know, and I will copy this and put it into our comment box so you can grab it from the comment box. Does anybody need me to put it in the comment box? Just say yes, and I'll do that real quick. But this is a prompt that you can put into ChatGPT. You're not just going to enter it as is. You need to adjust it ever so slightly, right? Describe your challenge or product briefly. Just adjust it ever so slightly, and then you could hit enter. Because what we want to do is one of my favorite things is building on what you've already built. And if you created something and your plan is to sell it for 27, 37, what have you, then imagine what you could do if you added an order bump onto it too. So I'm going to check the chat to see if you guys want me to drop it into the comments. But other than that, I'm just going to also just take a screenshot so I can put this into ChatGPT and then show you how this order bump prompt works. We'll take about 10, 15 minutes to work on that. It's 1:11. And then move into the next part of this conversation. Are you guys good? Are you good? What are you thinking about? What are you leaning into? It's these fundamentals that I wanted to break down for you, but the key word for me here is simple. I'm not trying to have you going out here trying to get 500 people to pay you. I still want you to make that money, but I don't believe you need crazy numbers to do it. $297 boot camp. Good. Adding the interactive journal and printable affirmation cards. Good. So true regarding the transitioning story. Yeah. And then I'm going to offer my 5-week financial challenge. Good. So getting clear about the journey that you want your customers to go through is so important. What I'm going to do is a quick power pause so I can go over to ChatGPT and then show you me working on this order bump and then you working on the order bump too. Quietly process these things that I've been saying to you, and then we'll lean into the 3 E's. So power pause. So I'm going to just pop back into the chat so I see you guys are coming on in here. Love that. Let's see. You just reminded me that not to sell out of my pocket. I did a 10K, 10% consultation contract because I think the owners could afford the 50K. So the equity in the company made up for it. And you just reminded me not to sell out of pocket. These are things that sometimes it's like, I call it remember to remind. Remember to remind yourself these things that sometimes you get so caught up in what you're doing in the moment, you lose sight of things that are important for you to acknowledge that keep you grounded or adjusted when you're trying to enter your new season. Because whatever that new season looks like for you, to be clear, the old you is going to fight you every step of the way. So every bad habit, every habit that may not be bad per se, but just not serve you anymore the way it used to, all of those bad habits are just going to keep creeping up for you because, it's hard to break them, right? So these things that remember to remind yourself of what's going to be useful to allow you to open yourself up to the season you're trying to enter. So, me on ChatGPT, real quick. Kay, can you transcribe this for me? All righty then. So let me take this. I like that. And it says, I want you to act as CC, my personal content and clarity coach. I've just created a fill in the blank. Describe your challenge and or product briefly. Now, I'm going to say I've just created a ready for revenue 7-day challenge that helps my clients strategically sell a $10 offer and focus on making $100 in sales and then scaling 10x to make more sales consistently, getting better at selling online via email and social media engagements. Help me create a simple order bump I can add at checkout to increase my average order value. Please give me 3 to 5 order bump ideas, then write 2 to 3 sentences of persuasive copy. And keep it short, compelling, and results driven. So I'm going to enter this number 1, and then I'm going to do a power pause number 2 because I need to transition from my location. And give me 2 seconds so that I can do that. So let's see. ChatGPT says, perfect. Thanks for sharing the details. Since your main product helps clients sell a $10 offer, best order bump should be a simple to deliver PDF or a template or audio, complement the challenge, help them execute faster. So order bump ideals: sales script swipe file, a PDF with proven sales scripts for emails and DMs, which is already integrated into the challenge, scripts that they can use in either social media or emails. So that's one. $100 offer planner tracker, a 1-page printable. Oh, I do have a make more money online tracker. That would be good to add to that because I already have it. Social media promo pack, 10 ready-to-use captions. That's already embedded into the challenge. Persuasive copy. So for the order bump, want to make selling even easier, add this ready-to-use sales script swipe file. Stay on track and hit your $100 goal. Grab the $100 offer planner and tracker. So not only will it give you ideas of what your bumps can be, then it will also give you the sales copy to attach to it. So yesterday I talked about how when I put together the audio offer, the 7-day challenge, I was able to easily add an order bump to Kit. Those order bumps don't necessarily come with a lot of space to add your order bump sales copy, but on a more sophisticated platform like Samcart, which is what I use mainly, you can do that. But adding on an order bump definitely does help you, whether it be on something like Kit or something more sophisticated like Samcart, help you increase your profit per sale. So did anyone do this particular prompt while I was on my power pause? Did you do it? Were you just kind of waiting for me? I want to give you the opportunity to try it out and let me know what you get. So it's not going to be terribly long. Just a quick power pause so that you can input this into ChatGPT, customize it ever so slightly, and then check in with me. So let's do a quick power pause, 2-3 minutes here, and let's see what you get. So this is definitely an opportunity to check in with me if you're live or if you're on the replay side, via voice message or email outside of being with me live, just to kind of think about what we've talked about so far when it comes to being intentional about creating a sustainable business, being very clear about the revenue goals you're trying to get to, understanding that unless you have, some ad spend money or you're just really good at sales, you're going to have to get smarter at creating balance in your price points, creating a clear customer journey so that you can generate the kind of revenue you want to see without having to find yourself feverishly always looking for new clients, right? So any ahas or insights you've gotten as part of that process, if you feel free to check in with me, you can always just interrupt me by unmuting yourself, number one. Or if you have a question about we've talked about something you're trying to ponder, whether that be checking in with me via unmuting yourself or into the chat, feel free to do that. And then, as I mentioned before, your order bumps, if you're getting some great ideas there, definitely check in with that too. Now, as you're leaning into that conversation, feel free to do what I just mentioned. I'm going to talk about the 3 E's to grow, okay? For me, I don't even know when I came up with these 3 E's, but it was many moons ago. Expand, enhance, elaborate. So if you want to go from 0 to zeros, these are the things I've done to strategically do that with confidence. So if I want to confidently add on some zeros to the end of something, I will expand it. Add on bonuses, create it into a bundle or a series. So I feel like it's worthy to see some extra zeros at the end because I've built this thing out through expansion. If I want to create something that sets it apart, I like, making it go from just a product to really an experience, I enhance it, create deeper interactive experiences to make it better, right? It may go from just it being written to having videos or audios. It may go from just me saying, here, I'm going to send you out this challenge and you here's the whole challenge. Or no, I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to check in with you every day. Or we're going to go live, okay, and I'm going to talk to you and you can ask me questions. Enhance the experience in some way. Elaborate. Elaborate, being in a place where you offer more detailed explanations. So a great example of that I always say is that there's always only but so much you can say in written form, right? Unless you feel like having like a Harry Potter style book that's like a gazillion pages, there's only so much you can say. So I might say, you know what, here, read the ebook or the print book, but then if you go here, you could listen. And listening to me, I can say or I can elaborate on what is in the text in more detail, in audio or in video format. So thinking about when you create something, how you can expand it, enhance it, elaborate. Using the 3 E's, this gives you an opportunity to work on taking that small product and making it evolve into something bigger, into something premium. Planting the seed so that it's not just a low ticket, but a high ticket, right? For me, when we go through the accelerator, I'm creating a space to teach you how to create a full offer suite. So this weekend is about creating that digital product, and the accelerator, we're building it out into an offer suite so you're clear about your customer journey, having those price points 10, 100, 1,000, and you know that you can strategically scale with 10-10 win, right? Because I'm going to tell you, just naturally, innately, most people are looking for new customers. That's their end-all, be-all, new customers, new customers, new customers, and they don't really have a clear strategy behind growing, scaling gradually. Either I need new customers or I need a boat ton of money so I could get ads to work for me so I could get new customers. And outside of people who are investing in ads, I have people come to me and say, okay, LaShonda, I need you to help me create some more video content so that I can go viral through social media. And I'm like, well, I teach social media. I don't teach how to go viral, and I don't teach ads. But I do teach how to strategically take those $10 offers and to scale them to 10K plus when you have the right systems in place, right? So I'm going to show you guys something that literally I've been working on as I've been building for the last, I don't know, somewhere between 4 to 6 months. Time blurs when you're building. I've been building the Digital Business Builder Toolkit that many of you have the opportunity to access. And those of you who have the pro level, I've not announced this officially, but I have worked on creating creator pages is what I'm calling them. And I'm actually testing it, so you can test with me, those of you who have pro level of the Digital Business Toolkit. But I'm going to show you kind of like a pseudo version of it. It'll probably look very different than what you see within the next day or two, but let me just show you real quick. So a few weeks ago, I had shared with you all the Digital Business Builder Toolkit and gave the opportunity for you to get a trial of it. And basically a trial is just kind of exploring it and accessing at least one piece of content in each section. And there are lots of sections. I don't know. You guys can let me know if you've tried it, if you've gone into the Digital Business Toolkit at all. My goal is to create a space where I can showcase my best trainings, templates, and tools to help clients worked on their content, what have you. Outside of trying out the toolkit, there's like audios, there's books in here, there are calculators in here, classes. I'm a coder. Even though I'm using AI, I didn't necessarily need to hard code this thing, but it takes a lot of code and understanding of some degree of coding to do what I've done to this degree. And then I have prompts in here. I'll definitely talk to you guys about the prompts that I've put together in just a bit. But one of the things that I've learned, and you know I build websites, I've been building them for many years, is there are a lot of people who say, I need a website. And either they cannot afford a website designer, number one, or they try to do something like WordPress or Wix or Weebly, and it doesn't quite look the way they want it to. So I'm building what I call the perfect simple website. And it's not like a link tree where it's just like your profile and your buttons, which I can show you my link tree, right? Where, you know, you see your profile image and you see buttons. It looks like a website. So this is an inception of it. It's not the prettiest. It will be prettier within the next few days. But those of you who have the pro level of the toolkit, and if you signed up to the 12-week accelerator, you got the toolkit as a bonus. Or on the website, if you just go to upgrade, you can unlock the toolkit. Right now, I'm offering it at a reduced rate of $297 for 12 months access to it because there's a lot in here. And then I will be offering it at $997 per year once I reach my first 100 clients using the toolkit. But this, for me, is going to be worth like that and then some. So this is the baby inception. I say baby inception because I'm building it out, right? Of this creator page where you can have your photo, your name, your bio. You can have a video. I'm contemplating giving people the ability to have more than one video. But then you can add on books. As you can see here, this one is empty. So I'm literally showing you something that I'm building into my application because I'm not working with developers. I am the developer. So people being able to add their books, and I'm just kind of sitting and thinking about these are the things that my clients want. They want a place where they can add information, but this is no code. This is absolutely no code in the sense that it's easy to add this material. You can have testimonials. You can share what you're doing right now. So it's like, I'm so excited. I'm currently updating the toolkit, right? You can add events. You can say, hey, this event is happening at this date. Right now we're doing the quick win weekend, right? Then we're going to start the 12-week accelerator. And you can have resources, my Sister Sense shop, my Sister Sense what's happening today. And then you can have links to your social media profile. And so now I want you to think, those of you who have websites, right? You have WordPress or Wix or Squarespace or whatever. And those are pretty sophisticated, but sometimes they don't quite look the way you want them to. So if I come into the toolkit and I go to the username, and if those of you who do have pro level, because some of you do already have pro level, you'll see a new button called My Creator Page. And it's very simple. There's no, let me add a new page, let me add a new plugin, no. It is literally, do you want to change the color of your background? Do you want to add your profile photo? You know, if you have a booking page, Calendly, Acuity, do you want to add your booking page? If you have a newsletter, something they can sign up to, do you want to add that? Do you want to add a bio? Do you want to add a video? Do you have books on Amazon? Do you want to grab those ISBNs and put them in here? I'll automatically detect that product for you. Do you want to feature some items, some things that you got going on? Do you want to send a voice message? So I have this SpeakPipe voice message on my website, and it's funny enough, one of my oldest and dearest clients, I built her website over a decade ago. She was on the phone with me, and she said, LaShonda, you've been using this platform for years, and all of a sudden I thought of you because I wanted a platform where clients could send me a voice message, and then I could create a reading for them, a custom reading. And she was like, oh, my God, LaShonda's been using this for years. And so she called me like last week, and we had a great check-up. But having the ability where you could go sign up to a free SpeakPipe account, get your account information, plug it in here so that people could leave you a voice message on your page. You could add your updates, kind of like having a mini blog. You could add your events, and whether it be Eventbrite, whether it be a Facebook event, wherever, it don't matter. Just whatever event, you set the date, you put the link in there for people to sign up. You could share your testimonials. I'm updating it, so with the testimonials, you could put the people's photos for your individual customers and clients. You could add your social media links. These are the most popular ones. If you can think of any other ones, I will add them. Outside of adding your email, your newsletter, your community, if you have like a Facebook group or a circle or a school or whatever. And I'm basically building something that is what I think my people want when they don't want a highly technical platform, and they want something where they can literally in 1 hour build a website. So I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys. You're the first ones who are seeing it. I'm going to be updating this because I want these images to be bigger, and I definitely want the Amazon books to be bigger. So it's not done. But it is something that I'm offering to my audience. And those of you, again, who have the pro level of the toolkit, you can upgrade to pro either by getting the 12-week program and you get the pro level of the toolkit for free, or when you come to the Digital Business Builder, click on upgrade, and you can basically just kind of pay for the upgrade on this page before it goes up, because trust me, baby, it's going up. It's going up. Fabulous. Looking good. Thank you. I appreciate it. It can look better. It can look better. It's getting there. But the reason why I share that is because, let's go back to the presentation. For me, when it comes to sustainability, I'm always thinking about how I can enhance, expand, elaborate, and create experiences for my audience that go deeper. Because that's why they pay me. That's why y'all pay me. Just giving it real, right? That, I said, okay, well, okay, if you're going to create this page for your clients, LaShonda, they could just as easily create a link tree. Okay, well, I'm not going to create a link tree then. Link tree doesn't look like this. I want something that looks like a traditional website. And it's not quite there yet. It still kind of has that, like, simple profile look to me, even though, to be honest with you, profiles don't have events and update sections and the video section and all the things I'm adding in. But still, I know I can go deeper and go better. So this is going to look slightly different within the next day or two. What does that look like for you to create an experience for your audience? That allows you to go from 0 to zeros. That allows me to create something where right now my goal is 30,000, getting people in at 297, right? But I think I said the wrong number as I'm coughing. My inner child is like, hold on, what did you just say? Yeah, a little under 30,000 at 297, with the goal of then turning it into an annual subscription of $997 and having that be another offer for my community. And those of you who are in the accelerator, we're going to be doing a training on how you can turn what you teach into a tool, because creating your own tools, as a side note, is definitely a part of this 3E. Creating a space where you're going beyond what people are doing. I am a coach. I need to go beyond what other coaches are doing. I am a service professional. I build websites. I need to go what other website builders are doing, so that I am not in a space where I'm trying to compete with them. They're not in my league. There are not many coaches that can help you with your web and your graphics because they don't have that skill set, right? And then there are not web designers who can help you with your marketing and your skills because they don't have that skill set. So creating a space where I really am stretching my skills across several areas allows me to, like I said, my VIP is 10,000. It really should be more like 20, 30,000, because I know that people, I'm paying, my Sam Clark coaching is me getting the opportunity to speak with them directly, and I'm getting 6 calls, 60-minute calls, okay? I do way more than that for $10,000. So I know that it's a matter of, comparatively speaking, you get what you charge. I'm working with people over the course of 12 months. I'm helping folks build out email sequences, websites, come out to my event. I'm doing like 15 things for the amount of zeros I added on. I need to be adding 2 more. Comparatively speaking to other people that I know are in my space that do way less, right? But that's me in my transition. You have to think about what your transition looks like, right? So earlier on, I said to you, there are mistakes that most people make. They focus on products without building the business. They chase volume instead of smart value. They don't have the systems that help them to expand those smaller offers. They don't plan to increase their average order value, so they're making more from the people that are coming to them as opposed to desperately trying to find new customers. They get stuck selling only low ticket, or on the flip side, they find themselves in dry periods when their high ticket clients go away. And my goal is that as we talk today, I'm creating a space for you to internally reflect on what you are and what you are not doing, with respect to the 0 to zeros methodology that I'm sharing with you. Now, I mentioned to you that I have a series of what I call profitable prompts, right? Yesterday we went through one of them where you were able to put a prompt into ChatGPT and work through a ABC offer, right? I have prompts on how to create easy low price point offers, how to create advanced digital product offers, prompts that will help you pick what product you want, that you can work on your offer stacks. Your offer stack is basically saying, I want to create something that includes these things that complement each other so you can build something bigger. Prompts that will help you create a sales funnel or work on your profit projections. Now, we're going to work on profit projections, but what I wanted to share with you is that, let me go. I have to think about it. Those of you who have the pro level of the Digital Business Toolkit, you do get access to pretty much all the bundles I create over the course of the next 12 months. And those of you who signed up just for this weekend, you do get access to the Get Ready for Revenue bundle, and it includes all of these prompts, right? So, for example, if you need to figure out what product to pick, some of you have multiple products, you don't know which one, or if you need to create a simple funnel, or the order bumps is a more detailed prompt to what we just did. If you need to work on order bumps but also work on upsell offers, you can use that prompt. And I'm going to go through 2 prompts, but I just kind of wanted to share with you where these are in the Digital Business Toolkit. Outside of putting them directly into the toolkit, as you can tell when I do trainings, I give you all prompts, but a lot of the prompts I'm giving you are not even as big as the ones that are in here. So, for example, I'll show you a prompt before we go through the profit projections because we're going to do that now. If I go to prompts, and you'll see that there are a lot of them. They're in different categories. The Ready for Revenue Challenge has several. Ready for Revenue Premium Offer, your 7-day light, and your Ready for Revenue Custom 7-day Challenge Advanced. This is you getting a customized challenge to fit your business. That's when you're working towards high ticket offers that are 1K plus to make 10K plus in sales. So this prompt, you put it into ChatGPT. So Ready for Revenue Premium Offer Clarity. This is the Big Bertha prompt where literally you're going through like 26 questions and ChatGPT is helping you understand how to put together a premium offer for your ideal client. You're going through pricing, objections, revenue, target, all the things. And what you do is when you have these prompts, you can copy them and open them into ChatGPT. These are more detailed. I'm going to go through the premium offer prompt in a second. But first, what I want to do is put another one of these smaller prompts on the screen for you that can help you with your profit projections. Oh, I went in the wrong direction. There we go. Now, before I put this one on the screen with ChatGPT, I'm going to do like a really, really, really simple one in ChatGPT because one of the things that you need to do is to get clearer about your revenue goals and your projections, breaking down how you're going to get there. And the math has to math, but you don't have to do the math. I was working with a client. She's like, oh, Lasanda, I don't like math. I'm like, okay, you don't have to do it. We have ChatGPT do it for us. That is why it's there. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Whew. Sometimes I forget to turn it back on. I'm like, oh, no. Okay, so I'm going to use the speaker. And first, I'm going to give you a small but helpful example of a prompt. And then I'm going to lean into the projections prompt that I want you to work on, okay? Okay, so let me put this one in. Hey, ChatGPT, quick question. If I sell my challenge for $27 at a $10 promo price, and then I add a $30 order bump, what's my revenue if 10 people buy? And I'm actually curious if I do either a $30 order bump or a $50 order bump, what that would look like if 10 people buy at the promo price, and then what it would look like if 10 people buy at the regular price of $27 versus the promo price of $10. So now, ChatGPT is doing the math for me. Okay, so challenge price is $27, but then I'm going to discount it for $10. I'm going to have an order bump at $30, but maybe I want to do an order bump at $50 with the goal of the 10 win, right? So we'll assume 100% take the bump. In reality, your attach rate may be 20 to 40%, right? So scenario one, if 100% people take the bump, we go from 10, which is $100, to 10 times 30, $400, right? Because I would make $100 for them paying for the $10 offer, but because I added an order bump, now instead of me making $100, I'm making $400, right? So if it makes sense before, the math always changes things when you can see it visually. Literally, same 10 people, but because I added on an order bump, and in this case we said, let's say that 100% of the people take that order bump, and it went from a $100 offer to 4 times as much, right? Now, let's say instead of me doing a $30 order bump, I do a $50 order bump. Now it went from me making $100 to me making $600 because I added on. Let's look at the regular price. $270 in sales to $570 if it was $27 regular, versus $270 in sales to $770 when it was $27 regular. And then it shows me comparatively what these order bumps look like. So it says, so the bump makes a big difference. It does. The bump makes a bigger difference than the challenge price itself. For example, at a $10 promo plus a $50 bump, that's $600. And then there's a $20 regular plus a $30 bump, that's $570. Do you want me to also calculate if you say only 30 to 40% of buyers add the bump? Yeah, real world numbers. Let's do it. Let's err on the smaller end. So let's say if 30% of the people, so the 10 people come, 30% take the bump, or rather, whatever the percentage of people come, 10 people buy, and in those 10 people, 30% take the bump, 70% don't. What do the numbers look like? Out of curiosity, those of you who use ChatGPT, do you do projections? Do you look at your price points, or do you just kind of focus on, help me out with my copy, help me out coming up with this email? A lot of people use it for text, granted. It can help with that, but are you using it in other ways? There's a lot of different forms of clarity that you can get with ChatGPT. Somebody said, help me out with copy. Yeah, it's common, but there are a lot of other things that you can do, and projections is one of them. Now, I'm going to lean into one or two more detailed prompts after you go do your own profit projection, because I want you to do that. So let's say the 30% uptake. So as opposed to 100, if 30% people buy, that's an extra 90. And then you get 190, right? And then if 30% take the 50, you get 250. And these numbers are important as well because we don't live in a perfect world where 100% of people do anything for us, right? So putting in percentages so that you can look at realistic numbers, and even having ChatGPT say, hey, I'll give you the 100, but do you want to look at, a 30% or a 40% and see what that looks like, is helpful, right? And obviously you see that the difference, the sales is lower, but it gives you something to shoot for. When it comes to projections, I always think about three things: my base, my reach, and my middle. For me, the reach is like if the skies were open up, the perfect number of people buying a particular offer. The base is the bare minimum that I want. And then that middle is somewhere in between, which is, where a lot of us may find ourselves if we're doing the things that we need to do. But in the space of doing that, you always want to shoot for the reach, right? But it's always important to me to be able to see the numbers. And if you're not a math person, you don't have to be. Just ask ChatGPT. Just, I stopped at calculus. I thought I was good at math until I had to take calc. Never mind, I kind of was lax in calc in college, so I didn't really study that much, but got through that class by the skin of my teeth. I tell you, the skin of my teeth. So what we're going to do, transitioning into the next part of this process of working on your plan, is looking at your projections. And you can screenshot this. And I can't remember because my brain is old. I can't remember if I screenshot it. And then put this into ChatGPT. So I'll give you an opportunity just to pause and take that screenshot. And then I'm going to show you how I do it, and then you can do it yourself, and then we'll go into the final part of our training for today. Awesome. Thanks for those projections. Can you do me a favor and transcribe this image, please? Alrighty. So it does have things for you to insert. So let's do that. I want you to act as CC, my personal content and clarity coach. Help me project profits. Assume I price my main product at $37, because I talked to you guys about pricing yesterday, and the ready for revenue, $37 for the main challenge, and then $97 for all three of them, and aim to insert. We're just doing the challenge goal, which is 10 sales, so we're just going to put in 10 win, yay. Please show me potential revenue scenarios if I only sell the core product. I'll sell the product with, I want to get to $97. So if I get to 97, what would that be? A $60 order bump. And I sell both plus a higher ticket version at, what if I do a higher ticket at 97? So, okay. So if I do a higher ticket version, that would be 97. If I do an order bump, let's say do an order bump for $30. So what does that mean? Just so I can break down the logic. My main offer is $37. I give them something extra for $30, but I'm giving them two versions of it, so they could get my 7-day challenge for $37, or they could get all three of my 3 7-day challenges for $97. and also the order bump, and see what ChatGPT can break down for me. All right. So now it's showing that the core product is 37, the order bump is 30, the higher ticket version is 97, 10 buyers, 100%. We're looking at if we just get the core offer sold, right, then that is $37. If we get the core offer plus the order bump, that is $670. And if we get the core offer, the order bump, and the high ticket, that is $1,640 in revenue. So with a $97 upsell, revenue jumps to $1,640, 4 times the core only scenario, right? So giving them something bigger definitely does help the end profit goal at 10 sales, okay? So I want you to be able to put this into ChatGPT and see the numbers that it gives to you. And just like we did before, just a couple of minutes, nothing too crazy. I would say 3 to 5 minutes for you guys to work on it. Anybody put it in yet? Let me know. Drop into the chat. Just a few minutes to power pause and have you guys work on this, and then we'll go into our final part of the process, which is having a plan. So good. You guys are putting it in. I love it. Feel free to share with me what you're getting, and I'm just going to be quiet for a couple of minutes to let you guys keep working on it. Alrighty, so hopefully you guys are rocking and rolling with this particular prompt, and it's helping you get clear about your projections, what you're trying to accomplish. There are very sophisticated levels of creating customer journeys, but having a order bump and simple upsell is definitely on the right path to the kind of profits that you should be working towards. So that's something that I work on with you guys, especially one-on-one, right? I feel like one of the last sessions we did together, D, is looking at some of the offers you were working on this summer, and then kind of like the order bumps that were going with it, if I remember correctly. So, okay. So, like I was saying, whether I'm working with you all one-on-one or you're working through this on your own, I wanted to be able to offer these prompts that can support you. So before I move into the action plan that I want to share with you, let's pop one of these advanced prompts into ChatGPT. I'm probably not going to go through the whole prompt because it's pretty advanced, but let's move over to challenges. So let's go back to the Digital Business Toolkit. And if I were to actually go home and look at prompts, there are actually quite a few of them. But when you have the Ready for Revenue, Get Ready for Revenue bundle, there are quite a few prompts in here too. So let me do the Prick Your Product first before I do the bigger one. And this essentially is going to help identify, open in ChatGPT, enter prompts for me. This one in particular is going to help work on picking a product. So let's walk through. Question, can you list 2 to 5 of your current low-ticket digital products? Yeah, I am about to host a challenge, and I don't know which of these products to promote. So I've got my Break Up with Broke bundle, which is an audiobook, and then I have the audiobook bundle is $27, and then I have my 12-week Create Your Own Simple Sustainable Digital Product Business, and that's a 12-week accelerator, and it's $297. And then what's another offer that I could promote right now? Break Up with Broke bundle. The Ready for Revenue Challenge has 3 7-day challenges in there, and it's $97. So which of these should I share? So this particular prompt is helpful if you're trying to figure out, like, what should you proactively promote. So it says, got it. Thank you for listing these. I want to make sure we keep this focused on low-ticket digital products. Since you mentioned you're not sure which one to promote right now, from what you shared, here's what I see so far. Outside the scope of 7 to 50, because I mentioned the higher ticket ones. Before I move us to the next question, can you confirm, do you have any other digital products between $7 and $50? That's a great question. So I was thinking maybe the Simple Sustainable Digital Product Business ebook, and that is going to be $27 as well. I was only thinking about the things that are ready, but that is an option. And something else in that $7 to $50 range. My Write the Book challenge, my Write the Book 5-day challenge, that would also be in that range. It's $37. So, of course, I completely went out of scope in the Pick Your Project, a low ticket, but it kind of brought me back. Okay. For each of these 3 offers, can you briefly describe what problem it solves? Write the Book is about writing a book in 5 days. Break Up with Broke is about you taking back control of your finances by realizing that you're not in control with brokenness and poverty, and there are strategic things that you can do when it comes to learning how to create resources, be a resource, and also be more resourceful. And I just kind of share the concept of breaking up with broke and strategies to go past that. And then the Simple Sustainable Digital Products Business is learning how to essentially use my practical solutions of going from 0 to zeros, which is having nothing, no digital products, no plan, to building a simple, sustainable digital product business based on the systems and frameworks that I teach. So for people who want to write a book in 5 days, for people who want to kind of get out of a poverty mindset, or for people who are tired of just kind of randomly selling digital products but wanting to be more strategic and fix the problem of consistency, those would be the problems that I try to fix with these. So similar to what we did yesterday, I'm just kind of walking through an example of what are the prompts that I've put together. So this is giving you an idea of the kind of prompts that are literally waiting for you inside of the accelerator and in the toolkit. Those of you who did sign up for the weekend, just the weekend, you get access to the 7-day challenge plus the prompts. So there are 7 prompts to help you get clear about your offer, picking the right offer based on the variety of products that you have, which is what I'm working on with ChatGPT right now, creating offer stacks, creating funnels. Those starter prompts are inside of there as part of the Get Ready for Revenue bundle, along with the first 7-day of 3 7-day challenges to help you work on your profit goals, right? So let's see. Excellent breakdown. Next question. How much content or setup does each one still need before you can actively promote? The Simple Sustainable Digital Product Business needs to be inserted into my toolkit because all my ebooks are in my toolkit, and I didn't put that one in there yet. Break Up with Broke is done. Write the Book is done. Simple Sustainable Digital Product Business is not done as far as being the sales page being set up and the content being in the toolkit. And this is good as well because you find yourself in spaces where you're looking to launch things. And I talk to clients all the time where they can't figure out what to launch, and some of it is some things are just not ready to launch. You know what I mean? And it's like, right, it already exited out. It's like, yeah, no. That gives us a sense of what's plug and play versus what requires prep. For each of these, does it naturally lead into one of your bigger offers? That's a great question. They both do, if I'm being honest with you, because Write the Book actually leads into my annual program. We're doing 12 books in 12 months, and currently we are on book 8, project 8, where every month I give my clients a template and we work on a book project. So the base level of the higher offer is being a part of 12 books at 12 months, which is a part of my insider circle, which is $1,000 for the 12 months. And then the Simple Sustainable Digital Product Business ebook leads into the weekend workshop, which is $197, and then the 12-week program, which is actually $19.97, but currently the weekend is $97 and the 12-week is $297. Promotional rates before I change the price points. So both of them have bigger offers that they're connected to, and both of them honestly live inside of my Digital Business Builder Toolkit. So they're small bundles, and if somebody wanted to unlock all my bundles, they could get the toolkit for $297. So each of them have a specific upsell offer, but then outside of that, each of them live in the toolkit, and you can unlock all bundles inside the toolkit for $297. Promotional rate before the toolkit goes to $997 as well. Now, similar to what I said before, I find a lot of times clients are in places where they're using ChatGPT, but they don't ChatGPT like me. And that's even a mastermind that I've been doing these last couple of months, talking about different ways that I really stretch the platform to use it in a range of ways. And I've put together a variety of prompts to help you get clear about your offers, your sales, your marketing, and pretty much everything in between, because sometimes you don't know what to ask. And you could literally have these, I call it CC because it's clarity coaching. You can have these clarity sessions with ChatGPT where you're proactively working through the right questions. I've already put into these prompts the right questions to ask you to get the information out of you. And those of you who have had one-on-one sessions with me know that a lot of times I will say to you, you know it. I'm basically giving back to you what you've given to me because I'm asking you the right questions. And I've primed these prompts in a way to tell it what I want it to ask you, right? So let's see. I love how you've structured these as entry points that ladder up into the bigger offers. Last question. How well or poorly has each of these sold in the past, if at all? For example, which has brought in actual sales and which hasn't been tested yet? I would say that because I did like 3 Write the Book challenges, and I've had several women transition from just doing the challenge for free to paying the $37 to paying $1,000 to be a part of my program, that one is the most tested and the best conversions. The Simple Sustainable Digital Product Business, I am actually in the process of doing a workshop on that, but it's not something that I've proactively promoted. It's relatively new. And then I think I launched Break Up with Broke like 2 weeks ago. So that baby is new too. It has made sales, not as much as Write the Book. That one is the oldest one and the one that has made the most amount of sales because it's just been the longest running. And then I've connected it to my 1-year program, so it worked out pretty well. I'm trying to work towards the same thing with Break Up with Broke. And like I said, I haven't put the $27 ebook in the template in the toolkit yet to move towards that one. Thank you. So quick comparison, Write the Book. break up with broke, most tested, highest conversions. Goal is to connect to bigger offers, but not yet fully proven, not fully set up, leads natural to the $97 workshop. Strongest is write the book. 3 simple ways to start promoting: share quick wins, mini freebie funnel, email replay, or pop-up. So it told me which one to promote. It's just that simple. And I don't know how often you all say this, but I will find I'm in spaces where clients will say, LaShonda, I don't know which one to promote, or I don't know how much to charge, or I don't know where to start. And so I've crafted these prompts to be able to support you in going through the kind of questions that will help you get clear about the next thing that you want to do and the next thing you want to put out there, right? So that is just kind of a quick little demo, and also an opportunity to think about the kind of clarity that perhaps you're looking for. So if we were to go back to the Get Ready for Revenue, because there are lots of bundles. As you can see, right, the book is a bundle in here: starter kit, break up with broke, make a mini offer, create a coloring book, Ready for Revenue challenge. There are a few bundles in here, and I'm building out more of them. But the Get Ready for Revenue connected to this 2-day workshop includes all of these prompts. So I just went through the pick your product. Polishing your product is, some of you have a product, but you want to make it better, and you want to be able to get an audit, talk through it: pricing, packaging, presentation, positioning, the 5 Ps, as I call them. Going through my 5 Ps to polish and improve your offer before you try to market it for the first time or market it again. So these are prompts that let me actually take you to the challenge. So if we go to the Ready for Revenue challenge, that lives inside of the toolkit. So yesterday I showed you I was taking the same content and putting it into the PDF ABC offer that we were working on, right? But it also already lives in here. And it says, no product, no problem, create a product. Not sure what to sell, no problem, pick your promo. So literally, whether it's a prompt or it's a project, clients can go through these pre-steps before going through the complete challenge. And the challenge is basically broken down into activities that you can follow from day 0 to day 7. This is the challenge that is connected to this offer. So what's going to happen is, once we're done today and I have day 2 replays up, you'll all get access to the PDF that will give you the audio version of this. So just in case you don't have the Digital Business Builder, the pro level, you still will get the 7 audios connected to the Ready for Revenue challenge, which will be the next phase for you as far as the 3 Ps that we're talking about. Just to reset, 3 Ps meaning yesterday we talked about 1 product. Today we're focusing on 1 plan. And then once you move forward, we're 1 promotional sequence, and that's going to be the 7-day challenge, going through that promotional sequence with a product. It could be the one that we worked on this weekend or something else. It really depends on you. As always, if you have any questions or ahas, challenges, things coming up for you, I highly recommend you check in with me, whether it be via the chat or unmuting yourself. You can always interrupt me at any time. On the topic of plans, working on a smart promotional plan is what the Ready for Revenue challenge is. And so I wanted to make sure that we went through everything today before I unlock that and open it up inside of your replays page. So when you go to the replays for this weekend, you're going to see Ready for Revenue, the 7-day. And those of you who have the toolkit, you'll be able to go through Ready for Revenue, the 21-day, the $100 sales goal, the $1,000 sales goal, the $10,000 sales goal. There are 3 7-day challenges: the core challenge, the conversion challenge, the custom challenge, and all of those are in the toolkit. Now, as far as a 90-day action plan moving forward, I wanted to make sure that even if someone decided that just this weekend was enough for them. You had enough clarity to move forward. So looking at the next couple of weeks, working on polishing and publishing your challenge so that it could have been that you knocked that whole thing out yesterday. And like I said yesterday, even if it takes you a few days to knock it out, when you compare it to some people who it takes them months to put a product out, I would say it's pretty impressive using the FAST method, formulas, automation systems, and templates that I've put together for you. And then taking the next 2 weeks to intentionally working on polishing, publishing it, making it better. You can soft launch it to your audience, weeks 3 to 4, with the goal of 10 sales. Proactively soft launching it means 2 things for me. Means if you already have an audience, you can say, hey, this is something that I've put out, but you can move through the 7-day Ready for Revenue Challenge to 10 sales, $10 offer, 7-day, follow the strategies, the prompts, the captions in that 7-day series. Then 5 weeks 5 through 8, gathering feedback, improving delivery. That for me is what I call refine in real time. And as you are getting feedback and working through what you're creating, make it better. Weeks 9 through 10, expand or enhance the 3 E's to keep making it better. Essentially, what you really need is my one. And I don't remember how or where, but I remember it stuck. Learning the acronym My One, which is really, it's not really an acronym per se, but someone was like, listen, do you know the word money? Take those same letters, switch it around, it's my one. Find your one, right? And when I think about that, if you have at least one funnel, one ladder that works for you, that you can take people through, wow, what a game changer. So this 90-day action plan, outside of what we will be doing in the accelerator, is an opportunity for you to independently work on polishing your offer, making it better, and building strategically. We work through these things and more inside the accelerator, a more detailed roadmap, but I do want to have something that you can intentionally follow over the next few weeks, because just putting something together in the weekend is definitely a quick win, huge win in my opinion, but taking the time to polish it, to work on making it better, launching it, actually making sales from it, connecting it to your bigger offers, those are the intentional things that I want you to be clear about too. Okay? Now, some of y'all have been quiet. Some of y'all have been quiet today, but I see you. So hopefully you the wheels is turning and things, but, definitely take this opportunity to check in with me. You can unmute yourself, drop into the chat, or if after the fact you feel more comfortable with an email or a voice message, or even right now sending me an email, do what you need to do, right? It's one of the advantages of being on live. If you feel like there are things that are clearer for you, or maybe things that are still fuzzy for you, taking the opportunity to check in, because I'm here to support. That's why I'm here. Now, outside of working on the DIY plan that I've given to you, I also want you to self-assess. Do I have my full offer suite? The offer suite, what does that mean? You have a suite of offers that we talked about today that range at least from 100 to 1K. Zeros, adding them extra zeros, baby, right? And, maybe you're in a place where you've started 5K, 10K, and beyond. I have just said to you unapologetically that the end of my buyer journey is my 10K annual program, right? And I still haven't transitioned it into 20K, even though I know it's probably worth 30 plus K. But that's where I am, right? Just unapologetically, honestly, that's where I am with that particular offer. But to be honest with you, one of the things that have led me to pause on raising the price on that offer is because I invested so much time into my SaaS, my software as a service, the digital toolkit. So because I'm working so much on creating the tool, my goal is that eventually I can transition out of that type of coaching like I transitioned out of building a ton of websites, because then this tool would be the thing for me. I'm trying to build my own ClickFunnels, my own Kajabi, right? My own thing that allows me to generate a substantial amount on recurring income and minimize coaching and minimize services, because that's kind of where I am in my development process, which is not to say that I don't want to coach or build websites. I just know that I want to be in a place where when I'm 50, because I'm 45 now, when I'm 50, I have mastered making seven figures in a year. I'm trying to do that in the next 12 months. I'm trying to hit seven figures in 1 month, in 12 months, so I can then rinse and repeat that and master it, get it down before I'm 50. The goal prior to this point was to make it by the time I'm 50, and then I'm realizing I could get it down packed by the time I'm 50, so I can say multi-seven figures, right? And in order to do that, getting into software and tool development is going to scale me without me having to work with people individually, whether it be 10K, 20K, 30K, or what have you. You can scale way faster with software, with tools. But anyway, I definitely do plan on, as part of the accelerator, teaching a class on how you can turn what you teach into tools. And I want you to think about, do you have your full offer suite? Is that something you need to build out? Because we're going to keep working on that as part of the accelerator. Am I clear on my pricing strategies? I hope that some of the things that we talked about today, even putting in projections, were helpful to you. 10-10 win, how you can realistically see 4 and 5 figures without needing 100 plus sales, 1,000 plus sales to get there. Because when I hear a lot of folks and they're talking about their $7 and $27 offers, they really have positioned themselves in places where if they don't sell high volume, they're not going to see what they want. And I don't want that to be the case, because most of the people they don't really know how to grow in a high volume space. I'm just being honest. They don't have the sales skills. They don't have the team. They're just, women burning themselves out trying to do 15 things. And if they had more balance, things could work better for them. I tell you guys, I'm diabetic. I like my naps. I just don't have the time and the bandwidth to do half the things I see these people do. Okay? I just don't. Right now, I am pushing myself to do 500 videos on TikTok in 30 days, because I know what it's going to take for me to make 7 figures in 12 months. And I know sometimes you got to do something today that your future self will thank you for. But I'm a sprinter, so I do things in spurts for the most part. Balance for me is low impact, baby. But I have created a space where I can bring in a certain amount consistently. And so this is a push for me, because sometimes you are entering in seasons where you do need to push. And I just try to make that a part of the conversation. I know some people will tell you just one route, just do high ticket or just do paid ads, or I'm not looking at it from that perspective. I'm just showing you something. I'm showing you a path, but it isn't necessarily your path, and it definitely isn't the only path, right? So, food for thought. When you think about these things, thinking about, do I know my next growth phase? Do I have automation and funnels? Am I ready to scale consistently? And the accelerator solves all the no answers, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to go deeper into these parts of the process that I've put in place here. I wanted to give you the overarching. I wanted you to be able to walk away with clarity that a lot of people do not have, a plan that you can actually put together and put in place, whether you work with me or not. But I always dig deeper, which is why I wanted to create the grace and the space for us to dig deeper. And the accelerator, we're definitely going to be moving in that direction in the next 12 weeks. We start next week, right? So I do see you guys checking in the chat. Thank you. We, the Accelerator members, appreciate you. We are cheering you on through. We love your coaching. Oh, I appreciate you too. So true. The parents chose the bundle instead of the 5 individual things. Surprised, happy to pay the bundle price. Yeah, right. She works with parents and helping them create amazing experiences for their children, working on their development from younger age, the youth, all the way to college to career. And you'll be surprised at the bundles, the offers, the price points they will invest in. They're just waiting on you to come through, right? I appreciate you for being here today. Next steps. The goal, you created your first simple product or began the process. Like I said, if you got any amount of it done this weekend, baby, you are further than many. You know how to price and sell. I wanted to share with you things that you can do practical, right? 10. I feel like everybody can, put their big girl panties and work towards 10. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people will tell you, oh, girl, you got to charge $50,000 for that. And you just don't. I know for myself, I didn't see it. I didn't believe it. I'm trying to give y'all numbers that are real, okay? Working towards your 4 to 5, and like I said, if you can consistently get real 4 to 5, you're at 6. You're at 6, because the reality is it's just a little over 8,000, a little under 9,000 that gets you to 6, right? Working on sketching out a 90-day action plan path where you can strategically work on the offer we started on, strategically selling it, because once we're done today, I'll make sure that the replays are up, number 1, and that you have access to the Ready for Revenue 7-Day Challenge too. So you'll see that on the replays and resources page. The replays for yesterday's are up. I should have today's up, if not, if I don't pass out. If I don't pass out after this, because I do have to do my TikTok videos today. If not today, but definitely by tomorrow, those replays and the Ready for Revenue link should be up for you. Definitely avoiding those common mistakes that slow down business growth that are just by nature most entrepreneurs are inclined to make. Definitely hanging out with me and this is the Zen Circle community as we go through the 12-week accelerator, so that essentially you can focus on building your full suite, your funnels, and your 4, 5, and ultimately 6-figure plan. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Last call, any questions or clarity that you need. This is your opportunity to check in with me. And like I said, those of you who are on the replay side, clarity comes in many forms. Sending an email, lhenry@sistersense.com. Whatever email address you have for me, send it. It'll get to me. I got like 10 of them, but they all come to the same spot. LaShonda@sistersense.com, sistersense@gmail.com, lhenry, they all come to the same spot. There you do have the voice message, so when you go to sistersense.com, you can click the gray tab on the right of the sistersense.com website to send me a voice message. And then, of course, I'm pretty much in the community doing live trainings every week. So getting inside the Insider Circle, getting the weekly calendar so that you have opportunities to work with me. Right now, every week, we're doing the Break Up with Broke funnel so that you can have a simple sales funnel put together. We're on week 4 of putting together your simple sales funnel to help you break up with broke, number 1. And number 2, next week, we will begin the process of working through the Simple Sustainable Digital Product Business 12-Week Accelerator 2. So, like I said, there's always something going on in the circle on a week-by-week basis, and the things that you miss live, you get to watch on the replays side. So, I think that's it as far as friendly reminders are concerned. Progress reports. Definitely jump into the chat, last call for that, but definitely, baby, if it's been a while, check in with me, send me your progress report. If we need to schedule a call, sit down, talk about it, or you send me a voice message, whatever you need to do, come through, okay? So, my ladies, my dears, I appreciate you. I thank you so much for joining me on this journey, so that I can sit down and share all the things I've learned these many, many years in the digital marketing, digital product business space around consistently generating revenue and making sure that you could learn how to do it too. I truly believe that you can get big results from a small list, from a modest-sized community, so long as you focus on balance, building out your offers strategically. Okay? That's it for today, y'all. Mwah. Bye.